What's up guys, Jayztwocents here at CES 2019, and we are at the Be Quiet suite, and we're going to check out what they've got to show. But first, check out our sponsor Corsair, who debuted the new Corsair One HPD desktop. So go and check them out in the link below. Again, a huge thank you to Corsair for sponsoring our trip this year. Okay, so Be Quiet is showing us a new white edition case. White's kind of making a comeback. We've seen white kind of fade away for a while, and now it's kind of the thing again. And this is a new Dark Base 700 limited edition case. So there's 3,000 units being made. It's got this badge, which is a metal badge. You can put it anywhere you want, so it's not pre-affixed. You can put it on the front, the side. But this is a very, very popular case. So the Dark Base 700 is technically a mid-tower, but it's a very silent optimized case, as is pretty much the entire case lineup from Be Quiet. I mean, the name kind of tells you what to expect there, right? But we've got a clear tempered glass side panel, not a tinted panel, which is what you find like on the 801, the Dark Base 801 we did the how to build a computer in. That's got a tinted panel, but the white case here with the clear is very bright. So if you put RGB lighting in here or any lighting, it's gonna really illuminate nicely. We've also got two of the 140 millimeter Silent Wings fans. So these are a premium fan here in a premium case, but it's only gonna cost about $10 more than the current Dark Base 700, which you can find in black. So it's a limited edition case with a very minimal increase in cost, but something that you could say, hey, look, I got a limited case and you can pretty much do anything with it. Now, white is very subjective. It's interesting. We've talked to case manufacturers before, like, well, why do we see white cases and they go away and they come back? And obviously it has to do with adoption rate. It costs a lot of money to make a case in another color, and if it's not being adopted, then they sit on shelves and it's kind of like a cost that becomes absorbed, and unfortunately, if it doesn't do well, you don't see it. But white, like I said, has made a comeback. In fact, Kyle even did a build in this case, which we're gonna take a look at separately, and we're gonna see how Kyle's build skills are, and we're gonna give a little review of that little guy. But I digress. The Dark Base 700, it's got a lot of features that you'd expect. It's got a vertical mount so you can show off your dual slot GPUs. The reason why I mentioned dual slots is unfortunately with a lot of the new 2080, 2080 Ti, and even some of the 2060 cards, they are triple slot design. So that wouldn't fit in here because it only supports a dual slot card. If you have a dual slot GPU, you can add your own riser card and of course show off your graphics card, whether it be water cooled or air cooled, by using the vertical mount. And of course it has all of the silent optimizations of like the sound absorption pad on the back panel. It's extra thick. You've got a solid panel on the front that brings in air through perforations on the side to give you pretty decent airflow. We were kind of concerned with the Dark Base 801 when we did the build that maybe we were gonna have some temperature issues, but even with an AIO on the front, no issues whatsoever. In fact, that was pretty surprising and relieving to see. So I don't think there would be any cooling issues necessarily with this guy, but remember it is silent optimized first and airflow second. But depending on how hard you're pushing your systems and what your fan profiles are like and your overclocks are like, this usually isn't gonna be a problem. Now, speaking of airflow and air cooling, I'm kind of looked at as being like the water cooling guy, but I'll be the first to admit, water cooling can be a complete pain in the ass sometimes when it comes to maintenance. So let's take a look at some air coolers that they're showing off here so that you can see how well you can actually cool your system virtually maintenance free. Okay, so the way you get more cooling with air coolers is you just make really big towers, or like we've seen from the Dark Rock Pro 4, it is a dual tower, obviously a twin tower I believe they call it. We've got some push-pull here, we've got an offset fan to give you clearance for obviously your modules. And one thing that's different about this, we kind of saw this last year at CES, and it's obviously fully retail available now, is it includes a long screwdriver that you can take this top panel off right here, and it goes down through the middle so that you can actually mount it a lot easier. They listened to the feedback of end users that said this is way too difficult to install because it's got such a big circumference and it takes up so much footprint in terms of how big the tower sticks out over the sides. A lot of motherboards had conflicts with high VRM heat sinks to where once you put this down, you couldn't get a tool in there to actually mount it to its mounting mechanism. So they thought about that, and so this isn't really too much change. It's got ceramic coating here on the actual heat pipes, so they can make it black without the drawbacks of just painting it, so you got better thermal conductivity, better thermal performance, and it obviously is all nice and black, which looks very aesthetically pleasing. Now this has actually got a 250 watt TDP, and they also have a TR4 version if you're running Threadripper, so it's optimized for that. But they want to appeal to a wider market and a more affordable market and still not have to sacrifice on cooling. So they're introducing the Dark Rock Slim, which got all the same features of the 4 and the Pro, which is 4 copper heat pipes that are again ceramic coated black so that they look great. They've got the Silent Wings fan on here, which are giving you good static pressure and good acoustic performance, and it fits in a lot more cases. You can see right here we've got the indents on the backside here for this. This is kind of like a noise and thermal optimized design in the heatsink. It's not just a ton of surface area. There's actually a reason for this. But this will fit in a lot more cases, and they're telling me it's going to cost around $50. So it's going to give you a very affordable, very attainable price point and give you very good performance on that. And then my personal favorite here, this is the TF, the Dark Rock TF, which is just this vertical or horizontal mounted behemoth of a push-pull cooler that gives you a lot of vertical clearance, as you can see, compared to the Pro. Quite a few millimeters there, probably, if I had to guess, at least 15 millimeters of difference there. But it's going to fit in more low-profile cases like home theater PCs, stuff like that. So we're going to do some stuff here moving forward in 2019, specifically regarding air cooling, because I want to show people how you can get a lot of performance and even a lot of overclocking headroom, and you don't have to deal with the headache and the maintenance of water cooling. So we're going to talk about this coming up in 2019. You can expect to see more Be Quiet on our channel. You guys can expect to see more videos here from us at CES 2019. Once again, a huge thank you to Corsair for sponsoring our trip. Check out what they're offering in the link in the description below.